already on. God bless America.
Hello.
Y'all is crazy.
We love you
You have
guys.
it listed, right, Marsha? You have it as public?
Yes, I do.
Wait, no, you gotta leave room for yourself, too, yeah. I'll just lean in.
Gotta leave room for yourself.
Guys, squeeze a little bit. Squeeze,
I got a lot
squeeze.
of-
I'm good. We're good.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Andrew's right. It is wider than I think. You're right. Okay.
So we're
You can
cozy.
craft by hitting
All right,
LB.
we're good. And
Are
here we
we
go.
live?
Ready?
And we're live,
Hey, everyone.
right?
Welcome to the Horror Show Podcast / live stream. I'm Cecil Laird.
Dirk Heron.
Nick Heron.
I'm having fuego.
I'm Andrew Mercer.
Oh, Marshburger.
That's right, you guys. We are back, and we have a new person once again on the podcast, which normally we reserve that for a How Did You Get Into Horror podcast. So, unfortunately, now that you're here, you've committed yourself to at least one additional podcast where we get to talk about your horror history.
And I want to say I love your shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mentioned it right when he showed up.
Oh, as so much. Why, Marsha? Why do you love his shirt so much?
Well,
Give us some insight.
I had a podcast that I was doing that's been put on hold.
Have.
But
And they see
hold.
it.
But I was
Let's do this. Ren
yeah.
Stimpy.
Yeah.
Ren and
Ren and
Stimpy.
Stimpy.
I'm going through all the seasons and reviewing each episode.
Yeah, I bought them from my daughter. And,
Nice.
and she's 11. She started watching when she was like 10 though.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh, some of that shit is a mess.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's a lot
It
of
is
stuff that we
beyond.
didn't catch when we were
Yeah.
younger.
But
Yeah.
occasionally to my buttocks, and he's flying
Yeah.
fast backwards.
I'm Powder Toast Man.
Yeah.
My brother's favorite
And
character.
Log, what the hell? They play
It's
Everyone loves
long,
a
it's
log.
long, it's big, it's happy, it's
It was
long.
so much
It's
fun to
long,
go through
it's
and watch all
long, it's
this.
better than bad, it's good.
We loved it growing up. My mom hated it, and I can kind of see her point, but not really.
Art
because
style
it's
is
amazing.
great in that show. Too.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
good.
So, you guys,
Anyway.
we are here to discuss survival horror rather, in video games, because that is, again, one of the panels that we are running at this year's Phoenix Comic Con 2017. So, that actually goes into why we have Nick here contributing. Now, let's talk about that a little bit. So we're talking about survival horror in video games. You'd think we want someone that at least knows something about either A, survival horror, or B, video games. Nick, do you qualify for either of those things?
No.
Oh. Get the fuck out of here! Right?
Oh,
Actually,
man.
no. My best friend and I last year opened up our very own video game store. It's called One Up Games in Mesa, Arizona. It's been the best. So yeah, this guy kind of knows. I play some video games. This is my brother. He didn't get the whole Heron.
I thought you were cousins.
But yeah, I feel like we actually guys have papers. I do a podcast, but it's just like, damn, you guys are prepared.
That's all
Well,
dirt.
it's
Well-
Get a Life podcast, right?
Yeah, I do want to plug my show.
No, we're all.
No, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Get a Life
wait.
podcast. It's if you type in Get a Life Bros, we've
Okay.
got all of our shows on there because we do Let's Plays
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, we're not so pro. We've just been doing it for 3.5 years at this point. That doesn't make it pro. It just means we've had more time to invest more money
Right.
in stuff.
We're about 6 months in, but it's a blast.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. This is technically going to be podcast number 157.
Mhm.
So, don't feel bad if you're not quite, because we've been, it's a long time. Yeah, I'm not, technically it's just 157.
The first
So-
one of the fourth year, though.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. So, what we're going to be
Fourth
doing,
year
you guys,
of
I'm going to be checking in on the comments as usual, but
I got it.
what we have is Dirk has done the due diligence of creating a list of a bunch of survival horror games through the ages, and what we need to do is basically come up with a structure for our survival horror in video games panel. Now, just to give you an idea, what we did for our Supernatural panel this year is like favorite big bad, favorite death, favorite musical moment, things like that. So I'm not sure how we want to structure the survival horror in video games panel. That's kind of the whole point of this. So we will be interacting with the audience on some level on this one, but we do need to get some business done, and we want to get your opinions. If we don't mention a game, let us know, but we're going to go through chronologically while Marcia and I look at the comments. So Dirk, you want to go ahead and start us off?
Yeah, well,
What was
this
the origin of survival horror?
It starts all the way back at the Atari.
Of course it does.
Oh, yeah.
All the way back.
Naturally.
And one of the games that I found in 1982 that was released was Haunted House, which you start out as like a pair of eyes, and you're just like roaming around these different rooms, avoiding spiders and ghosts. And and at one point you get a candle, and you finally get to see what you are, and you look like.
You look like Meatwad, man.
Really?
Seriously, because it shines, but it's like a perfect color, and you just
Anybody
who's played it, I've played it. It's a really dark game, man. Basically, it's just these two dots, and you're just going on a black screen, and then you just randomly spawn like new rooms and whatnot. It's Atari 2600.
Yeah.
You use your imagination.
Wow. Well, it doesn't. Luckily, that doesn't take much imagination to imagine an Atari 2600 game.
Yeah.
I feel like a game like that where there's a lot of guesswork would make it more scary. Like
Yeah.
you really don't know what's going on because
Yeah.
nobody really knows what's going on. I think it would make the game better, but I don't know. 82, that's a long way back.
Yeah.
I'm probably going back way back. I wasn't even born yet.
That was a great year for horror too, with the Thing coming out.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
Nice, nice.
Now, I think a good way to do this, maybe, Marcia, and you tell me if you agree with me, we'll let him mention a game, and then we can hit the comments for a second, and
Yeah.
then we'll go back to the games.
Yeah,
So,
what are they saying
what do
in
you
the
want to?
comments?
Well,
Yeah,
they
okay.
just Chase Smith just chimed in about that this is a perfect timing because Friday the 13th release date just was
Bingo.
announced.
Yep, one of the trailer reactions we have to do is the game release trailer reaction.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just
yeah.
released it's coming out at the end of May, as a matter of fact. So we do not have long before we're
No.
going to be able to play that now.
I'm not gonna see a new movie anytime soon after that cancellation.
No, but Marcia, it's coming out for the Xbox One. So you,
Yeah.
Andrew, and I need to purchase it. And if Fuego,
Okay.
well, Fuego doesn't have time to get the game. Between that
I don't
and
even have an
Comic-Con and
Xbox
everything-
One.
Well, yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So we got to be playing. We will be playing and
We're talking
doing
about
Let's Plays
practice.
of Friday the 13th. I don't know if we have the capability to record all of our dialogue and all of our screens yet, but we're gonna do our best. We'll figure it out.
It's a lot of swearing to pick up.
Yeah, it'd be interesting on how you pick up all the audio and this. Well, I mean, we can
There's a way to do it, but we'll figure it out.
There's a
But so yes,
get
we
it
are
right.
planning to watch that or play that game. Chase, thank you very much. So just real quick, Juan Borjas says hi.
Hi.
Also one.
Marinator says hi. Rubber Soul says, there they are. Hey, ladies and jelly spoons. Miss Bond 4007 is here with hey guys. Shannon
Hold
is
on,
here
Miss
with
Bond.
hey all. Of course, balls to the walls.
Yeah!
Hey guys, made it at 3 a.m. Boom. So
Wow.
yes, sir. Thank you, balls. It's good to see you.
Hey,
It's-
Balls, I have something that's gonna make you happy, man. Richard Bachman is this week's Hail to Stephen King.
Oh snap!
Ooh, Richard Bachman.
I was thinking he was about to make your balls blue, Vic.
Oh,
I don't know
woo!
what's going on there,
That's
but.
kind of improper.
Alright.
So, all right, Rubber Soul, Outlast 2 on Tuesday. Wait, Outlast 2 comes out Tuesday?
Yeah.
Holy.
Get on
Okay,
it.
well,
Get on it.
Both of these two now.
guess what, guys? Here, let's
sure
take,
Nick
let's
shut
take
it
the
down.
phones that we
Shut
don't
it
need off
down.
because it interferes with this thing. But yeah, Outlast 2 on Tuesday. Then that means I'm apparently going to need to trade in my Horizon Zero Dawn and
Yeah.
another game
Yeah.
and pick up Outlast 2 and start doing Let's Plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So expect to
Well,
see
there
Let's
you go.
Plays of Outlast
Horizon
2
Zero
starting
Dawn
next
for like an
week,
hour.
most likely.
It's so fun.
So yeah, that's exciting. Okay, Devin Vapes says this is a cool topic. Zachary Haith says starting with NAS, can I be the first to say fuck ghosts and goblins? Okay.
Amen.
Is
Yeah.
Ghosts and Goblins on your list?
It's not on the list.
Okay, then let's
I-
hit it since they brought it up. Ghosts and Goblins, I
would
think it might be definitely considered a survival horror game, considering it was one of the hardest games to actually get through. You could not survive in it.
Well,
Oh my
we had a
God.
different title for the Genesis version, if I remember correctly.
Ghouls
It was
and
like
Ghosts.
Ghouls and Ghosts or
Yep.
Ghouls and
Give
Goblins.
me
or
the
something.
premise. Give me the.
It was a side scroller where you
2D
play
hack and
a
slash cover.
very small knight that was running
Arthur.
through.
Arthur.
It was really supposed to be Arthur.
It's also got one of the best opening scenes in like all of video games.
Yeah.
Because he's like naked with his woman outside this castle. This fucking demon just comes and steals her.
Yeah.
And he's just like cock blocks him.
Yeah.
What year?
cool
When
intro.
did this come out?
I think that was
late
early
80s, late
80s.
to mid 80s.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
yeah,
it was
I
probably
would
yes.
say 88-ish maybe.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
87.
Well, but what was really funny about it, Andrew, is it's known for you get this armor, right? And you don't have a life bar per se. You get 2 hits.
Mhm.
The first hit knocks your armor off, and then you're running naked with skivvies on, and
Yeah.
you have to fight until you get more armor, and then the next hit you die. So it's basically you get a 1-hit leeway, and then you're done. So you got to be really good.
Very
But
contrast.
you're fighting like
In some
you know
ways,
little dragons that are sort of like going in patterns, and zombies that are crawling up out of the earth and coming at you, and big dragon demons and stuff like that. Like, but it was really hard until we got to the age of the emulator. Like, it was really hard to
The
actually
save
get
states.
Yeah, because there
through
was
that
nothing you could
game.
say, man. It was
Yeah.
just like Castlevania, but way more difficult.
Well, the hardest thing about that
So-
game is after you beat it too, it says like, "Oh, sorry, this isn't the real ending," and
Your
then
princess
they
is
make
in
you
another
beat
castle.
it again.
For a different ending?
And then you fight like a different boss, I believe, and you might fight the boss
God.
again, and
That
then
would
it's you actually
frustrate
beat it.
That would frustrate the hell out of me.
It's
You
one of the
start
hardest
over
games.
every single time
the
too.
whole game. You have to do no. If you die, there's continues, I believe.
Oh.
I like the
okay.
one on the Super Nintendo a lot more.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. Just real quick, because we're almost caught up, and then we'll let Dirk hit the next movie. Guru Media Production says, "Hey guys and gal, what's up, Guru? Outlast 2 is $30 or $40 for the trilogy on disc. Holy wait, trilogy? It's Outlast 2. So maybe Outlast Whistleblower, and then which was the DLC for the first game, and then Outlast 2 is what I'm sure he means. Skivvies, LOL.
Oh, the
Yes,
last
balls.
one.
I said skivvies. A Star Wars survival horror game would be interesting. I don't know
That's
if
a
that really
topic for another
fits.
game.
Maybe so. The Evil Within scared the crap out of me. Okay, and then we'll hit Dirk's next game. Is the Evil Within on your list?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then we will get to the Evil Within. So
We're
Dirk,
getting there.
movie number 2. This is gonna take a while, but
Well,
we'll go through quick.
Actually, it's funny how you keep saying movie
Okay.
because the one that
Do I?
the
Yes.
next
Yeah,
two
you do.
Yes.
You know what I mean, game.
video games that came out on Atari were Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween in 1983.
Right.
You're wearing a
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt, sir.
Yes. Free hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, free hugs, absolutely.
Chainsaw.
So what were those? How did those work?
Well, weren't they like unofficial releases?
They're really expensive. They're hard to find. They're kind of considered to be like gems for the Atari 2600. I've never played Halloween. I did own Texas Chainsaw for a little bit, and you do get to play as Leatherface, which is great.
Nice.
And you just chase after girls. And there's like this really high pitched sound that just makes you want to shut off the Atari.
Yeah.
But I guess that it's been rumored that it's the girl screaming.
Oh.
And then you just hear the chugga 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 because it's the chainsaw. You have to put gas in it and stuff.
Oh.
It's
Oh yeah, that's right. It was the first one where you're actually the killer, and you actually get to track down
Yeah,
people
because I
and
believe
kill.
in Halloween you're playing as Carrie Rhodes.
Right.
You get character in it. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the one where you were Leatherface was the first one you can actually kill people in video game history.
Right.
Is this the beginning?
So I don't know if that actually makes. It's more of a horror game. I don't know
We'll
if that's
count it.
super
We're horror
survival
fans,
horror.
but no, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. That's a fair play.
Yeah, well, these are like the inspirations for it later. It's
Right.
survival horror,
Was this the
so.
first time they put movies into video games, or had they done it in a different genre? Like,
What was
Well,
the year? Because
E.T. might have
E.T.
been
Well, that was
Oh, yeah.
82.
legendary.
that was
When
the
that came out.
worst. That was the worst game ever.
Literally, it was.
Man, I was not playing games at this early on.
I don't think E.T. is that bad.
I was only 2 years old, so I wasn't quite yet
I
either.
haven't played
But.
that.
Well, I will say, you guys, if you're interested to see the gameplay for either Halloween or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I don't mind plugging other channels that inform me, but the Angry Video Game Nerd did an episode on each game.
James.
So if you look up the Angry Video Game Nerd on YouTube, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Atari game and Halloween Atari game, you'll see what they actually look like. So click those up in a new window and bookmark them for later.
Have you guys
There
seen
you
those
go.
episodes?
Which one?
Have you seen those episodes?
I have, yes.
Oh my gosh,
They're great.
They're great.
They're
He
absolutely
made like
awesome.
little like short films with them.
Yeah.
Basically, every episode's like a short film.
Between him and the Nostalgia Critic, I lose a lot of time on
Heck
YouTube.
yeah, man.
Yeah. So go ahead, Dirk. Let's move on to the next one. 'cause we need to
84.
make up some time.
This game looks awesome actually.
Okay.
The Evil Dead.
On the Atari also?
No, it actually came out for the Commodore 64.
Okay.
Anyone remember that one?
And
Well, if you don't
Well-
remember that, the ZX Spectrum's not going to ring any bells
that's another system it came out
I
for.
don't even know what
But
that is.
But it, I don't know. I watched some gameplay of this, and it's like it's a top-down game where you're inside the cabin, and you have to close all the windows of the cabin because there's all these like monsters trying to get in.
Oh,
And then, but there's also monsters in the cabin as well.
that's almost like a proto Five Nights at Freddy's. Closing the right doors and keeping the thing out.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, I didn't know about that one.
Huh.
No, I didn't know about it either.
Left 4 Dead does that. Resident Evil does that. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of games.
Okay.
So
All right. Do you wanna? Let's do one more, and then we'll go back to the comments,
Good
Marshall.
question. Is that one based on the movie as well? Evil
yeah,
Dead?
it's based on the movie.
Wow, man, they just started hitting up all those huge movie
The-
franchises.
The thing
and
too was that like the Commodore 64 was like a European system, and that was one thing about the Evil Dead was it wasn't very popular here, and it wasn't until it made it over to Europe that it exploded. That movie was big in Asia, you know,
And that's what helped with the funding
Europe.
for 2 and
Yeah.
you know later on
And
entries.
so that's why it makes sense that they would make a video game about that movie because it was just it was talked about so
it was
much
hit. It was a
in like,
hit.
you know, in Europe.
So what was the other 1984 video game then?
Okay, Beyond Castle Wolfenstein.
Oh, was that the first time we heard the term Wolfenstein?
Yeah,
Wow.
And
This was even
okay.
before Wolfenstein 3D.
this
Yeah,
is
oh, yeah.
before
All right.
Wolfenstein 3.
Way before.
And the graphics are terrible.
Keep
Like
One might
it
imagine.
it's really
Terrible.
bad.
That's terrible.
Good.
That's just
It's
terrible.
also during the crash of the video games, man. Like
Yeah, because that was when
until
Atari-
85 came back and took money.
Atari was like you know scaring everybody away because they were producing so many games and they were so bad
Yeah.
that like nobody wanted an Atari anymore, and it wasn't until Nintendo came around that.
Big old
Like,
Nintendo.
Saw the resurgence.
Changed
Yeah.
the game.
So.
All right.
All right, let's get the comments.
So then
What
was
are we
it still
talking
a
about?
first-person shooter, or was it?
No, it was
yeah.
it was like kind of like a sort of like a top down,
Uh,
more like more like a top down, but like when you would shoot a bullet, it would just like there was these like little pixels and it was like beep, beep, and then
Voltron?
a little bit, and
Looks
then
like the
and,
moon
and then
events.
there's there's the Nazis like kind of roaming around, but like they didn't have any movement. They were just like doot 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 doot. It was
Sounds great,
really
man.
really bad.
Marshall, why don't you jump in with the next round of
Comments,
comments? 'Cause there's
comments.
nothing we'll get hung up on. We'll get
Alright.
back to you real quick on that.
So, Ball says, I love Alien for the PS1. That was a creepy
The Alien trilogy.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
creepy
the
as fuck.
first-person shooter. Yeah.
Miss Bond says, dude, fuck Evil Within.
Miss Bond, did you have trouble getting through that one?
I had trouble. Like, I got stuck, like, in the first level, and I'm like, I can't
love
do this.
that game. That game was
Did
like
you beat it?
yes, I did. That game was Resident Evil for me of the new generation.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
I loved it, and it was a mixture of that and sort of the Outlasty sort of
Yeah.
just run because that one chick, the spider chick, that sometimes
yeah.
you could not fight, you just had to run.
Right.
Or the television head dude, like how I love how he would just spawn up, but you couldn't actually kill him. He would
it was
just
a
come
safe.
back. Safe, that's right,
Yeah.
safe. Yeah, I don't know why. I've just seen so much stuff. It's all
Yeah,
blended
you
together.
just-
Safe.
It's all just
Smash
mush.
ideas
It is,
together.
it is. But yeah, the safe head guy, yeah, because other safes were littered around, and
Yeah.
he would build a new body out of it and stuff.
Is
So
it
that
safe?
I
Is it
loved.
safe?
I
You
loved
really
the evil.
did.
I mean, I
I
was
was.
getting
I
stuck.
Did you guys play it? Both of you?
I played it.
I played it a little bit, but this guy was like he was obsessed with it.
See, we and eventually we do
Yeah.
at the end by the end.
Yeah.
By the end of the podcast, we do, or the panel, we do have to bring up survival horror in VR because I think that's definitely. So I'm going to write that down.
That's
Again,
interesting. That's interesting you said that.
as we go, we need
Because-
to write down
Survival
ideas for the
horror
panel.
in
It
So
is,
I'm going to do
it
that.
is interesting you said that, Cecil, because Ball said, somebody else said,
Ball
David
said-
Gomez said Friday the 13th for VR, and Balls was like, fuck, seeing Jason in VR, I think I would shit myself. And then there's a lot of emojis
Yeah.
of crying, laughter, and poop.
Yeah, you know,
And poop.
honestly, after playing just the time. See, here's the thing. We played the first few hours of Resident Evil set not in VR.
Yeah.
Then we got the VR, and we still have yet to play it in VR. However, we've played Until Dawn Rush of Blood, which is awesome. We've got the PSVR over there. And I also played the kitchen demo, which was technically the prequel to the Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
And it was freaking like I played it and I was jumping and like I was so creeped out. It was really good for just a little like 5-minute demo. So I can't. We have to absolutely survival horror in VR is an absolute must. So we can do that as a later category
Yeah.
for sure. That can maybe be the last thing we
We'll
hit.
wrap it up with that.
Okay.
Wrap
so
that
good.
shit up. Here.
Again, we have to plan the
Wrap it up.
panel while we're going through these games. So does that catch us up on the comments pretty much, Marsha?
I mean, yeah, I think that's a good ending
David
point.
Gomez,
Okay.
good job. Good job.
Yeah.
David
What's up,
Gomez.
David Gomez?
David Gomez is a good day.
You using all those exclamation points, buddy? Appreciate it.
Now this next game like creeped me the fuck out, which is called Chiller, and it was released for Nintendo, but it was also a computer game, and basically you use the NES zapper, and you got to like just blast off people's like skin and flesh while they're already being tortured.
Really?
They're like in these dungeons.
Huh.
And then like you can shoot like the torture devices
And
to like
stretches their arms and then just rip off. And stuff.
yeah,
Oh
and then
my
like
gosh.
rats come and then they like take away the body parts and
What's
stuff.
the object of the game? Is to kill people?
You're just literally torture
Torture?
people.
Wow.
Yeah, and
What
you
year
get,
was that?
It was 86.
Yeah,
It's
very
called Chiller.
maniacal.
That's what I want the object of all my games.
Wait, that's the same year as the next game?
Yes.
Yeah, which is
Whoa.
one of my absolute favorites, man.
Whoa.
One of my favorite
Castlevania.
series
Castlevania,
ever.
also,
Yes,
1986.
Castlevania all day.
None of you guys can say you haven't heard of Castlevania, because Castlevania is amazing. It's classic.
It's a staple.
Like 6 people just said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Marshall, you're off the comments.
No. 3 being my personal favorite because of the fact that it had like alternate characters you could play as. First time you saw a la carte.
Yeah, but
it
a
was
lot
in
of people
Symphony of
point
the
to
Night.
Symphony of the Night, though.
Yeah,
as the best one.
but that's the first time you see a la carte. It was in Symphony of the Night.
That
It
was
in part
PlayStation,
3.
right? Was,
Yeah,
Symphony of the
PlayStation
Night.
was Symphony of the
PlayStation,
Night. Yeah, and that's where they went back to the 2D because I think they had already done the N64 3D one at that point.
I
Yeah.
do remember
And
playing the
it-
original Nintendo one, though. I loved Castlevania when I was younger. Just the whip and the candles, the constant whip and the candle, whip and the candle.
Medusa heads.
Yeah, the Medusa heads.
Oh, there was the whole
Makes sense.
uproar for the second one. There was a Nintendo Power. This shows how old I am. There was a Nintendo Power cover where they had Belmont holding the head of. It was Dracula or a vampire of some sort, and it was a band cover, and it caused this huge uproar because they were like, okay, yeah, this is very obviously a horror, violent series where you're killing vampires, and I'm not sure why
yeah,
that
in
took
a 2D
a
side
second
scroller.
entry
Oh.
to really have that sink in, but yeah, 3 is still my favorite.
Castlevania was amazing, though.
And Super Castlevania.
And
the fourth one,
fourth
man.
one.
It's
Super
also
Nintendo.
That's
pretty
the best one.
pretty great that the Netflix just announced that
Yep.
they're doing a
Yeah,
Castlevania
Series.
super violent.
We talked about it on the
Anime.
news.
Yeah.
Series.
We've actually been following that for a while. It's the same guy who produced that Power Rangers short movie
What?
that had like
The rated R one?
the one that had Dawson, James Vanderbeek in it.
Oh,
And they were all dropping
Vanderbeek.
F-bombs and whatnot, and it was violent and
Vulcan's
interesting.
skull killed Jason.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah. So, same dude is producing this Castlevania, and he's been hush-hush on the topic for a while until the recent announcement, so.
Keeping
it's
the door
very
open on
cool.
it.
Get
Yeah,
those
we're-
Bellmans, brah!
I'm excited about that. I mean, Netflix
Belmont,
is
sorry.
fucking knocking it out of the
They're
park.
doing so many good things.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
They're
In
taking
the
over the world.
membrane.
So what is next, sir?
Oh, another
Oh,
good
this is
one.
another big one. 1988 Splatterhouse for the TurboGrafx 16.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I played that. I
Yeah.
played that. I actually had the I had the what was the mini version of it? It was the Turbo Express.
Hmm.
That's what I had.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, the handheld.
yeah, I had the handheld version, and that, if I'm not mistaken, was that the first system that the same cartridge could fit in the actual home console as it could in the
cards,
mini.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that was like ahead of its time by that sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had the Turbo Express, and I was able to play Splatterhouse, and like
You
just
had
in my
a
little.
Turbo Express when you were a kid?
I did.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody who had a Turbo
Yeah, I
Express.
did. Yeah.
He
no.
was on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous,
Yeah,
you know.
my family was well off when I was
You guys
a
had a
kid.
3DO also?
And no, I didn't go that far.
You had a
No.
Neo Geo.
I didn't get a Sega Saturn. No, I bought a Dreamcast on my own. But no,
We did
outside
too.
of that,
Dude, that was
yeah,
the first system I ever reserved, $99.99.
Yeah.
I remember reserving that at Babbage's months
I
before.
never had a Dreamcast.
So-
Dreamcast
oh,
was the
Dreamcast
shit.
was
It was so ahead of its time.
Okay,
It's sad that
give
was
me
a-
Resident Evil Veronica, Give me
Sonic Adventure, Power
Sonic
Stone.
Adventure. Give me
Crazy
give
Taxi.
me give me
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi.
House
Give
of the
me
Dead.
The,
Yeah, House of the Dead 2 was on
Yeah,
this.
House of the
Yeah,
Dead
it's
2.
fantastic.
Yep, Soul Calibur.
And
Shenmue
honestly,
was great too.
Fantasy
Soul
Stone.
Calibur was their killer app
Did we say
at the time.
Power Stone's great.
Yeah. Oh, I
There
love
was
Power
so
Stone.
much good.
Ready to
art.
rumble?
Ready to Rumble. I was gonna say.
yeah,
I love
Ready to
that's
Rumble.
that. I
Ready to
think is my
Rumble's
favorite
good.
boxing game of all time.
Sword
Quite
of
frankly.
Berserk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. Sword of Berserk. That was.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Those
was
two
one
were
of my
amazing.
and dude,
Spaceman too.
and Berserk is one of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite
Oh,
animes
so
of all time. I didn't like the revival one that they did, where they broke it into 3 films and stuff. Compared to the original TV series, man, Berserk is so good.
Okay,
I
so
love Berserk.
let's
Anyway,
move
we are.
Marsha, let's
These
check in with the
crazy-
comments, Marsha.
Psycho
Alright,
consoles.
so the
Turbo
Evil Within.
graphics,
Okay,
Turbo
this is
Express.
Lazy Gamer. The Evil Within
Lazy Gamer, what's up?
is one
Yeah.
of my favorite horror games. One of the first ones I ever played. Rubber Soul asked, Layers of Fear was great after they worked out the bugs. Oh, I think I missed something.
I haven't played Layers
I
of Fear
did
yet.
a little bit.
Really? What'd you
Yeah.
think?
I thought it was interesting.
It got mixed reviews.
I thought it was interesting because, like, as you go, every door once you unlock a certain door, every time you go through a door, it's a new room. So even though you would have been
get to see the
going,
other side of the
you go into a room, and when you come out, it's a different hallway, a different room. Everything's different, and then if you revisit the room, even the room is different itself.
Random element.
So it's really interesting, and you're just kind of building. And
But
that's kind
I
of
heard
why-
it gets repetitive because it's like okay, you unlock a new room, you go in, there's a hidden jump scare
Yeah.
somewhere in the room, and then you move
And
on
there's
to
a
the next
puzzle
room,
you have to
and then
figure
yeah.
out to get out or open,
So
unlock a new
It
thing.
sounds
and-
repetitive, but if you don't mind that kind of thing,
But
like,
it-
it sounds okay.
I think it's the point though. Is like it's layering everything in, and the more deeper you go, the scarier it gets. And then.
But
I
the
don't
other
know,
problem is I heard that you
that's
can't
something.
really die per se. Like you just.
I haven't got anywhere where like anything was attacking me, but
Yeah.
like things would
It's
fly
just-
off the walls.
People were
and-
saying it was a horror walking simulator.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
I
I might
thought it
try.
was
It's only 4 hours
interesting.
long. It might be worth at least trying the first little
Yeah,
bit.
I think I
but-
played about
only
an
4
hour
hours?
worth
Yeah.
of it, and I was like, "This is pretty interesting." But I started getting a little because I get freaked out a little easy, so like I get jumped really.
Well, and they gave it away for free to the Xbox
Yeah.
Gold people.
Oh.
So,
So I was
we just got
I
it
was
for
like,
free.
Pete,
So.
come sit here and watch me play. He doesn't like to watch me play video games. So if I want, if I
He
want
gets
to watch
frustrated.
a game or like play a game with somebody else, I have to let him play, and I'll watch it. But,
What was the next comment?
oh, anyway, Layers of Fear.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Choking to
lead-
see Resident Evil 7 in VR.
Yeah.
And the Legion boss from Castlevania is creepy as fuck, says Miss Bond.
Balls to the Wall says, we need Andrew back dishing out the orders on Resident Evil 7. He gets super excited and it's fucking hilarious.
That's right. VR is only gonna make that.
Lazy Gamer says, I plan on doing an Outlast live stream soon. I think Outlast is pretty cool. I'm very excited for Outlast 2. Plan on live streaming when I get it. You just said the same thing twice, 2 different ways, but that's cool, Lazy Gamer. No, we're gonna be doing the same thing, man. So let's play through. And
Dual.
let's keep back and forth talking about how we like the game.
Outlast playing.
Dual.
Resident Evil 7 was so short, Chase Smith says. I don't know, it hasn't felt short to me so far. We're like halfway through. And Shannon says, right, Andrew telling everyone what to do, lol.
That's what he's doing right now.
Chase Smith says, I need to watch some Outlast 2 stuff. Haven't seen anything since the Burning Cross trailer. Chase, we are actually going to be doing a reaction. They just released a Outlast 2 game launch trailer 2 days ago. So, there is new stuff out there. If you want to watch something besides the Burning Cross trailer, it is there for you to watch. I was trying to find the time. I would love Outlast 2. It's all about a Book of Revelation obsessed cult in the Midwest. I agree. I think Fuego would like it. You should come over and we can do it a little bit on Tuesdays when you come to do the news. So
I will make the time. Let's do it.
yeah, we'll do it,
They
guys.
talked a lot about your being mad at Cecil for Cecil's searchinitis and like,
My searchitis.
It's you guys only got to see it in one game. It happens in every
Uh,
game, for everything, no matter what. he plays all the side missions, then does the story missions at max level with all unlocks and all. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
How else would you play a game?
that's the way he plays games.
Yeah.
I don't. I just I want to go to the end.
Speed through it.
Why?
I'm
Why?
actually more of the
Power
Cecil
up.
variety. I was the
Yeah.
guy for Legend of
'Cause I get
Zelda who
bored.
wanted every heart canister.
I don't
Scott,
know,
I put
I gotta go
150
for it. I
hours
gotta
into
know.
Skyrim,
That's
man.
exactly-
I think for me, I'm such a
Insanity.
story person. Like, I just want to know what's next on the story. Like, let's go. I don't care about the side story.
But then you just spend $60 on a game that you're gonna beat in 2 days.
Yeah.
And then I return it. It's fine.
Hopefully not the game stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's in the initial 7 days.
Uh-oh. See, we got to talk about that on your Origin podcast because I'm actually curious about that because I have been trading the GameStop for a long time.
Okay.
So
So,
I would like to know why. I'd like to know your opinions on that. So we'll get to that. That'll be a separate podcast.
But
Damn
to be
it! I want
fair,
to talk about it
I
now.
don't buy a lot of games anymore. I just finished Grand Theft Auto, and I did take a lot of time on it, but yeah.
I still haven't beaten that game because there's so much shit to do.
Well,
It's
that's
that same point.
I finished it because I just played
Yeah,
it.
yeah, he's like the story points and
Okay.
yeah.
Devin Vapes. I have Outlast downloaded on my Xbox. I haven't tried it yet though because they did give away Outlast, the first game, for free a couple of months back for
Yeah.
Xbox Gold. Yes, Devin, play Outlast 1. If you like the stuff that we put out for the Resident Evil 7, the first-person view, except you can't fight back.
Yeah.
If you want to watch one of
It's
those survival
creepy
horror
as
games
fuck.
where all you can do is run and use a night vision camera with a limited battery, that is a game you should try. Absolutely. It's fun, it's awesome, and the sequel is about to come out. It's a perfect time to do it.
I got
True.
Pete play it, and he only got through the first 15 minutes, and he's like, I can't play this right now. This is freaking me the
Can
fuck
I be
out."
honest? I never finished the Outlast Whistleblower DLC because I got a little bit into it and my heart would start going so much because you have to learn the patterns and you don't want to I don't want to get caught by these guys and I'm just like I don't need this in my life right now. I don't know. This is too much. Like life is hard enough without feeling like I'm gonna have a heart attack because fucking some
Yeah.
insane asylum guy is coming
Yeah.
after me when all I'm trying to do is get out.
I thought it was much more entertaining watching somebody else play it because then I was like, oh, this is fun. I don't know why you're so scared. He's like, I'm actually playing this. It's
Well, but you had fun watching the Resident Evil stuff too,
Yeah.
though, and that's what's awesome. Honestly,
As did I.
so
Being
yeah,
a big
all
fan of the
everyone that watched, it's easy to get invested. Like we did group Let's Plays, so I would be playing, but I would have a multi thing plugged in, so everyone would have headphones. So we'd have 3 or 4 people watching and experiencing it at the same time. listening to my game.
telling them what to do.
Yeah, Andrew, fucking hit RB. Fucking hit RB.
Crack the shit.
Yeah,
Crack the
just
shit.
you go
I'll
to
just put 'em
the shortcut
together.
menu.
Okay, alright.
So yeah, no, it was a real fun way to do Let's Plays because otherwise, all I had done was I did a few drunk Let's Plays of the first 3 Five Nights at Freddy's games, and Marcia did a Let's Play of one of the Walking Dead episodes, one of the Telltale games,
Yeah.
and now we've done a bunch of the Resident Evil 7 Let's Plays did well, and now our VR Let's Plays are doing really well. Andrew's just went up today; that's already over 150 views or
Go
something
check it
like
out
that.
if you haven't already.
Yeah, it went up yesterday actually. Andrew playing the London Heist,
London
and
Heist.
Andrew gets into it. Like that's what's amazing. I love that about VR is how immersive it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But
I got
anyway.
pretty into it with that damn shark man.
Yeah,
I mean,
Fuego
come on.
screamed like a
He did
bitch
right
the week
at it.
before.
Really, right under the bus.
Yeah.
Or right under the boat. In this
Absolutely.
case. It's something.
If you ever want to hear Fuego go, "Oh shit, fuck," then
Yeah.
that's what you need to watch.
I heard he cried.
The shark game
I
one
heard
in
he
your
cried.
I
Tears.
cried when I
And
played
it
the
messed
shark
with me,
game.
man, because sharks have been like the biggest fear point since I was a small child and saw some Jaws footage.
But you gotta admit, being in that world and just seeing even though the graphics weren't the best, being down there and seeing the life, and when you have the
the
whole
whole
thing
immersive
enveloping,
movement
and then
factor
these
was
two,
really, and
if
looking
everything
down,
else is,
looking
because
up.
literally they can attest, when we have these on, you can't hear anyone else talking to you.
Yeah.
So you're so immersed in the game, it's the most incredible, it's like the best game purchase I've ever made in my whole life. Like, because I've been curious since I was a kid when I think someone once upon a time on Pier something or other in California, the famous pier off in San Francisco, Pier 47 or some bullshit like that. When I was a kid, I went and visited. There was an arcade there that had a VR station where you could stand in like the
Yeah.
circle and put on the thing, and it was Wolfenstein
Yep.
in VR, like the very
Yeah.
early Wolfenstein in VR. And I played that shit on like at the arcade in the pier, and I was like, oh, my mind was exploding, and now here we are, literally 20 years later, and I finally got a unit in my house that I'm able, like, I played that kitchen demo, and they're like, a friend of mine is trying to, you're tied to a chair and you can't get out, and you're in a dirty ass kitchen, and a guy is bloodied and laying on the ground next to you. It's your partner. He wakes up and tries to free you, but a crazy chick comes in and like takes him behind the wall, and you just hear horrible sounds, and then you just see her pop out and throw his head at your feet.
Oh man.
And then you don't see her, you just hear things. You're just sitting there looking around, and you see yourself tied to the chair, and you can't do anything. And then eventually you hear her, and you see her hands go in front of you, and you're like, oh my god, I can't, oh! It's so, like, just the evolution of survival horror is so incredible. So I didn't mean to get off on too much of a tangent there.
Well,
but
yeah.
VR is just,
Freaking
oh
lawnmower,
my god.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
tech associated
yeah,
with
we're
it.
there.
It's so amazing. So, let's take a break, Dirk. What's next for you?
Big properties. Yeah.
89, Friday the 13th.
No. Drop the mic.
I'll just do that the whole fucking time, like the whole game.
Well, what's funny too is because the last game that I mentioned, Splatterhouse, like I thought that was Friday the 13th.
It looks just like Voorhees,
Yeah, because like the character that you are, he looks exactly like Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
But the next year, Friday the 13th came out, and I think a lot of people were disappointed with it. It wasn't the greatest game, but
Well, and they just did that short film that we.
Yeah.
Yes, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact,
You know
we
the
did,
tunes,
we
man.
did a
I'm over
reaction.
here like just reliving it.
Yeah, dude, I played it
Please
so
stop.
much as a kid, dude, and I got confused as fuck
Did you ever
in
get to
every
day
cabin. I have no.
No, I've only made it to day
No,
two.
I could never get very far in that game. I'll admit freely, but I didn't stop me from playing that and the Nightmare on Elm Street Nintendo game.
It's
I
a
played
game
them
too
both.
that you can't play now on like a flat screen TV because the controller lag. You
Yeah.
have to play that on an old like CRT rounded television.
Yeah.
Because there's parts when you're fighting Jason like in the cabins, he just fucking appears, and that's like the scariest part of the
Yeah.
game. He's just like,
And you're suddenly, he's like,
and,
and
then
it turns into Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
and he's purple.
Except you can throw knives sometimes,
And
but
he's
you
purple.
never want
He's
to pick
purple.
up the wrong weapon in that fucking game.
Oh yeah, it's the,
Oh,
you gotta get the knife.
Gotta get the knife the whole time. Yeah. So sorry, I love.
Back to Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Get the knife in that
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
have to.
you just mentioned it though. But the next game on the list is Nightmare on Elm Street,
Mhm.
which
Awesome.
which was I love that game, and it was like
See, I remember that way less. Although I watched Angry Video Game Nerd once again. Shout out, did both Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the
James is
13th
great.
as
We
well.
played this game when we were kids, man, and we
and
did
it's
four player.
four
Yeah.
player.
Okay. Well, how did it go?
Four
How did
player
this one
on
work?
NES.
It's basically
Four player.
Yeah, they had the
Okay.
splitter. They
I
had
do
the
remember
splitter.
seeing it when it first came out. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the Nintendo Power.
it's based
Once
off
again,
the third
reaching
film,
back.
kind of.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
it's based off
loosely.
of Dream
Dream
Warriors.
Warriors.
Yeah,
We're the Dream Warriors.
or you could be.
Don't wanna dream no more.
Oh, we're not
Sorry.
bullshit fans over here, man.
Yeah.
You don't know what you stepped
I
into.
just watched the original last night. My story.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
It's so good.
Johnny Depp getting sucked in the
Quiet.
bed, man.
Wait,
No,
you
it's
just,
a
you
mom
just,
at the
wait,
end.
you'll just
Something
throw
like
on
that.
an
Yeah,
old,
pulled
you just
through.
throw on an old
I'm all
horror. So
like-
if I get bored,
I'm
like at
reading
7
their
at night, I can just come
comments
chill
going,
at your
yeah, I
place
played
and watch
that
an old
game.
horror
Why are you
movie.
talking
Yeah,
about
sure.
That's
that?
awesome.
Yeah.
He's been buying up a lot of VHS.
Oh, dude, I just got the.
I'll just come down, bring the
This is
podcast.
where-
versus the flying
this is where
saucers.
it's
Well, we can just do little
Here,
little
I played that
podcast
game.
commentaries of movies
I
and
played
stuff at your place.
Dude,
I played
you guys are
that
Universal
game.
Monster fans. Hey.
Well, I've honestly, here we go.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
coming.
Not
Brace
the new
yourself,
shit.
guys. Brace yourself.
Here we go.
Not this new stuff.
No,
that's
no,
coming
no.
out.
He's
I have never seen any of the original Universal Monster movies.
I'll
not
give
even
some-
Bride
yeah,
of
VCR.
Frankenstein.
But not that's hooked up. Eddie. I don't know. I don't
I
even
got
know if
like
I have a
five.
coaxial connection.
I still have one
anymore.
specifically for all the old bootlegs and VHS stuff that I have. That
I'm
is
gonna have
not
like an old
available.
TV with one built into it. I had to give to you.
Yeah, I should watch them at some point. If I get onto something that I'm still in the running for, which we've been alluding to for a couple of months at this point, but if I get onto it, I'm gonna need to do some serious research because I am lacking on my horror knowledge before 1973. So
Totally zero.
anyway,
But
moving right along.
Nightmare on Elm Street game.
Did you
So
explain
fun,
what that
man.
was? How did that work?
Well, like you were two boys and two girls, right? And like you can
ago, I guess you could say that. I don't remember that. I haven't played 4-player. I've only been playing it 2-player in the store. We actually did a video of it. It's just that we found out that the fucking video was out of focus. Like us, but we've actually beaten the game in the store. Tim did. My buddy who owns the store with me. Yeah, it's 4-player. You can be a wizard, a ninja.
What?
Like this
Wait,
athletic
in Nightmare
guy
on
who
Elm
throws
Street?
javelins.
Oh, wizard and okay,
Yeah.
wizard.
Based on all the
There's not the
all
wheelchair
corresponding
Because when you
stuff
go
with
into
that.
the ninja, so from the fourth one,
Well,
because he was the karate guy, could be the ninja probably, the guy that fought Invisible Freddy in the
They're
fourth
talking
one.
about Fatal Frame.
Well, they
That's
had a lot
pretty
of
cool.
carryover characters
We're
from
gonna
the
get to
third.
that.
Well, otherwise,
Yeah.
what would the ninja
It's
be
a but it's
representing?
basically just a successful platformer game.
I'm
You
just
have
saying, if
you
it's a
have to
ninja, it's
collect
got to be referring to the
Freddy's
guy
bones.
from the fourth one that actually took karate and fought
Oh, okay.
Freddy
Okay.
karate style.
okay.
See, I thought that was
With karate, I kick your
No.
Yeah,
ass.
I'm getting them mixed
From
up.
here,
No, it was
right
fun.
over
Okay.
there.
Yeah, because that was
What's the one
where
what's the one
I
that has
can't
Roseanne?
Oh wait, no, you might be
It's
right.
the one with Roseanne in it. That's the fifth one.
Yeah,
It's
you're
the
right,
one you
because
go
that's
into
the one
video
that
game.
want to suck face.
Tom
Oh,
Arnold's
That
in
was the
that
fifth
too.
one also.
Yeah,
No,
no,
Tom
no,
Arnold
that
was in the
was- that was
sixth one.
Freddy's
That was
Dead.
Freddy's
Freddy's
Dead.
Dead.
Dead was the one that
No,
had
no,
Tom
I'm
Arnold.
talking
Yeah.
about that. No, I don't remember. I think no, it's got to be the fourth one then. Not Dream Warriors, Dream Master.
Dream Master,
Yeah,
which has
yeah,
my
no.
favorite
Dream
kill in the whole
Master.
series.
Dream
where the guy
Master
gets pulled
had
in
the
water
one
bed.
with Rick. I think Rick was the dude that did karate, and Alice was his sister. And he dies, and then he's the one that comes back, and when she has the dream of his funeral, and he's like, "Hello, babe," and he's like, "Hi, why is everyone so sad?" You know, like it's so weird, but yeah, he's the ninja master.
It's a fun game. Though.
So they
Yeah.
did try, and what I'm getting at is
Yeah.
with the wizard from the third movie,
Loosely
the,
based.
the
Yeah.
ninja from the fourth movie. Okay, so they did try.
A lot of people try to
Yeah.
crap on the game just because it's made by LJN, which
Oh,
also has
boy.
made some of the worst games ever. Like
Yeah,
Bill and
that's
Ted's
again running
excellent
joke
video
in
game.
James's. Yeah.
Oh, LJ.
Bill and
James.
Ted's excellent.
Yeah, exactly. You would
Video
think it would be
game.
so good. but-
Excellent.
It wasn't.
Video
Uh,
game.
There
Can't
was
resist
a-
Candy Fuego.
There was one
I
on here I
can't. Every
thought
time
was
I have to do
interesting.
that.
Because I had never heard of this, so maybe you guys has anyone? Oh, sorry, this is Rubber Soul. Does anyone remember Haunting Ground? It had a girl and her dog. You would be followed by a guy, and when he would catch you, all you hear is him masturbating over your corpse, and then over the game screen.
I
And
don't know
being
what that
as-
sounds like.
What
Wait, which
platform
game?
was this for, Rob? I'm curious.
Haunting Ground.
No,
Yeah.
haven't. No.
I'm like thinking it was a PC
Classic.
game.
Yeah,
of some
I'm
sort.
assuming it's a PC
Yeah.
game.
Because
Not
there are so many
PC game.
obscure.
Clarify.
Because that's like-
Clarify in
That's
the comments.
crazy.
Rubber Soul 81 says, "Push the fucking right bumper." Andrew's Resident Evil 7 battle cry.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I just want to know what that sounds like. That guy masturbating over your dead corpse. It's like, yeah,
Isn't it
exactly.
like back in the
It
day,
does
yeah.
sound like that.
Imagine the
No,
guy that
so-
had to do sound.
I,
It's
I
like
don't
how
think
they
it
got the
sounds
sound
much
effect
different
for
than
now.
it does over the Playboy, but I
Probably
could be
not.
wrong.
Shout out to the Reanimator. She made it on just for a couple seconds.
What up,
It was
madam?
late for her.
No,
She's
yeah,
got to wake
she's-
up early tomorrow.
She's
so.
awesome. Random.
Hey, Reanimator, what's up? Thank you
Hola,
for
girl.
joining us briefly.
Yes.
Okay, Jaime would love Outlast 2. Yeah, we talked about that. Book of Revelation.
I was
Trying to
trying.
find the time, man.
There's some
okay.
mention on Fatal Frame. I know you have it on here, but Fatal Frame was one of my after Silent Hill came out. It was my next favorite horror game that had come out because I thought it was super creepy, like going around these little like Japanese homes, and you're like taking pictures and then like at the ghosts to capture them. If you run out of film, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh.
You know.
Well, the next one in line, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Dirk, is maybe the first like official survival horror game, kind of. In some, I mean,
yeah, we can make it
arguable.
official.
Well,
Because
we
I
can
know Alone in the Dark was
I-
before Resident Evil.
Yes,
obviously.
and it should get a lot of credit because
Different gameplay mechanics,
Yeah.
not as iconic.
it had
but-
the pre-rendered backgrounds
Right.
and they were polygon characters and stuff like that. And
So what was the first platform? Was it 3DO, Panasonic's system, or was it?
well, it was also released on PS1 as well.
Oh, okay.
But
I know that was a later port, though, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
It was-
because I mean, Panasonic and Jaguar were out before, right? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken,
Yeah, I think so.
I think they were.
As far as, are you
As
saying?
far as like 32-bit systems that
Oh.
came out before PlayStation and Saturn, and
Yeah, there's a 32X even.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
Yeah.
life support of
Sega.
the Sega Genesis.
yeah, well, that was when they were effing stuff up, shooting themselves in the foot.
Just real quick, shout out to the Late Horror Show. What's up, Dino? Better late than never, brother. Good to see you. Okay, fucking Nightmare on Elm Street game. I need that shit in my life. Dream Warriors is probably my fave, says Balls. Would anyone here like to see Alone in the Dark go back to its roots? I don't remember the roots. I remember never
Well,
playing
we were
a
just
game that I
talking about
enjoyed.
Alone in
Yeah.
the Dark right now.
Perfect.
And they made that horrible movie with Christian Slater. Ugh.
Terrible.
Oh,
Was it the
There-
movie
there's-
you like or Christmas?
there's a
I
story
actually really like
that I
Christian Slater.
actually
Turn up the pump up the volume.
I
turn up
have
the volume.
where I was playing it on PS1, Alone in the Dark, and the saving.
Were you playing it
System.
alone in the dark?
Oh my god.
Well, I tried. It was kind of a wonky game. I think it was a weird release because like the saving the game was really difficult because it didn't allow you to see the other files that you've already saved on your memory card.
This sucks.
And
Yeah,
so
that is
I
horrible.
didn't even know if I was saving the game properly. And then my brother goes to play PlayStation and he was into Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And
Who wasn't?
Everybody was.
he realized that I had saved over his Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, so it wasn't just existing
Oh.
team files from that
Yeah.
game. It was for
Yeah,
anything
no,
on the
I had
memory
like
card.
saved multiple times. This one part I'm at Alone in the
I
Dark.
can still feel the pain.
Oh,
Like,
and I was
radiating.
on-
It's just like.
Fucking, I've never played Alone in the Dark, even though I've heard like glorious things about it, just because of the spike.
No.
I was 70 hours into that bitch.
Yeah,
And
I was
like,
Nick is very
can't save
principled
for
over here.
Sephiroth. Like,
Oh,
the very
Oh.
That
and all my
hurts.
friends would be in it, and they're telling me how cool the ending is, and then this.
Oh, and that was before the internet where you could just log on and see what it was
What
yourself.
the hell's YouTube?
Oh man,
Oh,
brutal.
That
Yeah,
hurts.
it was
hurts.
bad. I've never played Alone in the Dark because of it.
Love Advent Children. Though.
It is
right.
He's just laughing.
I didn't
whatever.
mean
Yeah.
to.
It
It
was
wasn't
an
like
accident.
He's
it
like,
was
I
an
have no
accident.
I think we might have even gotten into a little fight or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I just remember you used to say 76 hours.
Come on, you remember. You remember. He's playing it off at first, but.
That sounded pretty specific there. That, you got the tone down perfectly somehow. I don't know. It sounded like it was burned into your mind or something.
It was.
Oh, man.
Never forget.
Never forget.
76.
I just did that in
76
tattoo.
hours. 76
So one of the things I want to say is the Late Horror Show said we'd love to see you guys do some old black and white Universal Monsters reviews. I would have to be in on that just to be like, guys, you're wasting more of my goddamn time with these. No, probably not. I'll probably be
Oh,
like,
it's
this was
Karloff,
way
bro.
better.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Come
Here's the
on.
thing. The reason I don't want to do that is, and I will, obviously, not against my will or anything, because I should watch them. I know I should watch them.
Creature of the
But,
Black Lagoon is the cheesiest.
but
of all
what
of them,
happens
but
if I watch them and I'm like, yeah, it was
It's a
alright.
really slow movie.
Like, you know, what happens then? Do I just get rain of shit because I'm just like, yeah, they were alright. Like, I can see why people appreciate them, but they're just,
You will have an opinion, and it will be your own.
alright, that's fair.
You're not gonna like them.
Fair.
Or you can
I
just-
already know
You're not gonna like them.
I already know you're not gonna like them because
But you like the Monster Squad, man. Come
Yeah, I
on.
like the Monster Squad, not necessarily because of the monsters. I liked it because it
the
was
kids,
a
yeah.
scary Goonies.
Heck
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been on the Monsters.
Well,
it was like
I-
a pre-it.
Just knowing you and how like the older movies are slow,
Wolfman's got
old,
doors.
black and white.
If I could have been a
You're-
Goonie on the Monster Squad or on the Sandlot team, I would have had the best childhood ever. Like
You're
that.
killing-
Those are the three
you're
things I
killing
would
me,
have
Small.
loved to
Come
have
on.
been. And you're killing me, Small. First, you take the Graham. Then, sorry. All right. Okay, so Resident Evil. Okay, you know what? Let's. Marsha, do you have any comments you want to highlight before Dirk gets back to it?
No.
Okay, go ahead, Dirk.
Yeah, because the next one is big time, Dirk.
Yes.
We talked about this at our
I was
previous
wondering
video
about
game
that.
panel. This was instrumental in the rating system coming together in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but yeah. This game was very controversial for its time.
It's not very good.
Don't keep them in suspense, boys. What was it?
Night Trap for
All
the
right.
Sega CD,
Those
Where you-
FMV games.
where you basically get to play like a motion,
Full motion video?
full motion
Wow.
video.
That was what they called them.
That
at the
sounds
time, yeah.
awesome.
And this game was kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's,
Mhm.
where you're watching 8 cameras and you're watching these like teenagers like
Have sex.
Well, it was
Bow,
like,
chicka,
It
bow,
was like
bow.
sci-fi.
it was like
Andrew,
funny. Yeah, it
Andrew was
funny.
like
It was
Doug
funny.
hearing a squirrel, like seeing Andrew. Nudity? What?
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 Titties? What? Boobs? What?
Movies?
Hey,
But-
they are life givers. Come on.
I should have brought the box. I don't have the
That's
game,
what he
but I
said.
have the box.
Yeah, this is when
It's the
Sega
new
was
age
all
ball
about.
and chain.
Yeah.
I should have brought the box.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can we even coin that?
Yeah, we should. That
I think we
along
just
with
did,
those
Marsha, whether you want to or not.
Sell those
You're
shirts at
officially
Comic-Con.
Pete's box. How does that feel?
Yeah. And I
I
mean,
did
back
say
when
yesterday.
Sega was like so into adding on to their current console, they're like, yeah, we're not going to release something new. We're just going to have a disc, and then we're going to have 32X, like Nick was mentioning. And so, didn't work out too well for them. But
Yeah, it was, gosh, the Sega
So did you explain Night Trap and why it was a precursor to something later on?
Well, like I was saying that there's 8
I'll bring
cameras.
my
You're
box.
watching the teenagers like
Brittany.
slumber party. They're undressing and stuff like that.
So it was a
And then
voyeur
there's
game.
like
it was like a
Girls.
slumber party massacre.
playing
So-
guitar with tennis rackets and shit.
It's super
I've
dumb.
never played it, but it looks fun if you're really drunk or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Which when you play video games should be.
which and it's pretty much like a full motion picture. It's like they recorded over 90 minutes of footage
Wow.
and stuff.
I have.
Dude, the villains in that are weird.
Yeah, they're
looking,
like these
too.
weird, like vampire looking, like blood extractor type, like
think
I
they
don't
have a
know,
gun,
like
too.
burglars or something.
burglars,
it's really
yeah.
strange.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then you just basically like when you see them
Mhm.
on the camera, then you flip the switch or whatever.
It's honestly a point and click, just like so many computer games of the time were, and
And
that's
and then you
it
get
was
to watch.
boring to me.
You
I
get
mean,
to
I
watch
was hoping
them
for
fall
skin.
into a
and-
trap.
yeah.
Miss Bond just said it was very difficult game to get through.
Hi, Miss Bond.
Apparently, she's had
Miss
struggles at
Bond
quite a
likes
few.
you. This Bond's a fan of Fuego.
She's very cool.
Oh, Cecil.
Hmm?
Brittany said she'll bring her box.
What does that mean?
Ah.
I don't understand.
Sounds like you're gonna have a good night.
Now, if I could chime
no,
in with
she's
one
not coming
Sega
back
CD
tonight.
game though that really is underrated, and it was kind of horror sci-fi, and it was very kind of steampunk almost influenced by Blade Runner. It's a game called Snatcher.
Oh,
If anybody who's heard of Snatcher, that was basically turning an anime into a point-and-click kind of thing, detective status. It was violent. It was one of those games that I tracked down so adamantly and was never able to find. I had one of my best friends had a copy of that, and it was super cool. And I've actually gone onto YouTube and watched just the story because I
I've
know it
always
was
wanted to play it.
that rad.
It's
Yeah.
expensive too, which sucks.
Hella
man.
expensive,
It's really
dude.
hard to find.
It was tough to find when it first came out in
Right.
the 90s. So
Can I just say I love that our commenters are smart enough to talk to each other because they know we're not going to get right back to them right away.
that's because we have good fans.
I
Damn
like
right.
it.
We love you,
But I
Pete.
do want to shout out Cobra Kai because he's been a commenter for a while and he did ask for a shout out recently. So shout out Cobra Kai. Good to see you here.
Yeah,
What
he has
up?
a Stephen King Coexist
Sweetpea.
shirt coming, but he is very far. He's in, he's across the pond, so.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cross
Yeah,
the
that's
line,
commitment. It's commitment.
Yes, indeed.
We'll get it to you. We'll get it
We
to you.
will.
Ms. Bond says, PT was so good, I was heartbroken when Konami fucked over Silent Hills. Marcia, how do you feel about that?
I'm so sad.
Yeah.
Because why, Marcia?
Silent Hill is one of my
Because
favorite games.
That's your guys' panel right there.
And
We need to do a Silent Hill panel.
yeah, oh my
Just
god,
PT
it's like
too.
one of my
But I never
favorite
played them, though.
I remember the first one, and I have a similar story to yours.
No.
The first one I played with my sister. It was really cute. We would I played all the.
It was
in-
really
it
cute.
was
Yeah,
really
it
cute
was.
because
If I do say so myself.
We
It's
couldn't-
horror. It's
We
so
were
cute.
amazing.
secretly
Such
we couldn't play the game, but together we mastered it because she was really good at the outside stuff. It would freak me out so bad, and so I would do all the inside stuff because she couldn't handle it. And we got all the way up to the end. We played it every weekend, but this particular weekend I went to my friend's house. I came back and my sister's friend had come over and she finished the game without either one of us there and saved it.
That's
So I
lame.
still never
You're like,
actually
we're not
witnessed
friends anymore.
the end
Hard
of it.
no
I was
sin.
so heartbroken about it. I was like, "Are you serious?"
Okay, can I just take a side note and say we should come up with the 7 deadly video game sins? Saving over one's save file is one because we've now had 2 instances where this is something that should not happen. You should come over there, throw it up as a
Yeah.
poster in
And
your
I hear
place.
this shit every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how many times
It's like,
I've heard
dude, this is
guys
my
say-
life, man.
Dude, guys come to the store every single day and they're just like, damn, I had all this shit when I was a kid, man. Like, sold it all, dude, I regret it. It's just like,
Yeah.
bro, you ain't alone. Like, you
Yeah.
hear it all the time,
Yeah.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
My brother sold our first Nintendo that my mom bought us without telling any. Like me and my sister, I still remember coming home one day and was like, "Where's the Nintendo?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I sold it and bought some candy or whatever." I was like, "Mother."
We
I
always
still-
just traded up.
Nick,
Like,
do you know anyone? Because I have my Nintendo up on the top shelf up there, and the Nintendo doesn't work, but I got those games, and I kind of want to see if I can fix it.
Yeah.
I have the original
Probably
Zelda
just need
that
to
I really
switch
want
out
if
the
I can
pins on
play.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say
I can take it with
Nintendo.
me, see if I can fix it tomorrow.
Yeah, Nintendo just did that re-release, in the last year, and it's now out of print, or they were like sending small,
Yeah.
limited quantities. And Jacoby, who has been, I don't think he's been here on the channel, but you obviously
Not
know
yet,
him
yeah.
from, yeah, but maybe with good reason. But he's been trying to track one of those down so adamantly.
An
He's
original
calling
Nintendo?
on, well, it's
called
a
the Nintendo
re-release,
Classic.
yeah, and it
Oh,
has like
that.
loaded games.
They just
on
did,
it
yeah,
and
but they just
stuff, and-
discontinued it. The
Yeah,
reason
and yet
why,
they sent out
too.
so few, and they're about to do an SNES right now. as
No,
well.
it's twofold. The reasoning. The first reason is because it got hacked.
Yeah,
And so they added
Oh,
a
and so
shit
you
ton
can
of
mod
other-
it. You can mod it and put
You're like,
all
oh, that's
like
what
The
you
other
can do.
reason is
Yeah.
now with the Switch, they can discontinue that and say, "Oh, you want to buy those old Nintendo games? Here's our Nintendo emulator that you can get
Well-
through the Switch."
Well, yeah, and that was what I was doing even when I had a Wii. I was buying old, classic games.
They're
and it's-
phenomenal. I haven't gotten a Switch yet, but I will.
They have Neo
I,
Geo.
I was
Yeah.
actually looking
I don't
into
wanna-
investing in a.
I don't want to pay $360 to play Zelda.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wait
and
until
Zelda-
Mario comes
oh,
out.
man.
I'll pay $360 to play Zelda and Mario.
Yeah.
I won't pay $360 to just play Zelda.
Yeah, but they have like
I'm
all
I'm
of it.
considering.
I have to
it.
have
It's
I have
really
to
cool.
have this, I have to have a line. I can't cross.
Mario, I don't think comes out until the fall.
I know.
Like,
That gives me time to save up.
No,
I'm
I've heard that
enjoying
Zelda
my
game
VR.
is so
Okay,
goddamn
so I
good.
want to go back to
fun.
Silent Hill for a second
Yes,
because
yes.
Lazy Gamer says I have to bring up my courage to play Silent Hill 2. That's the only one I haven't played.
That's the best one I've heard.
There's
Yes.
still a ways
Why?
from
No,
Silent
it
Hill.
doesn't
No,
have
I've
anything to
definitely
do
heard.
with the storyline, though.
well, every single Silent Hill is basically its
Kind
own
of-
section.
No, because the first and the second go, or
Even
the first
like
and
the
the third
town
go
Silent Hill would be
together,
different.
and then
Yeah,
the,
but if
the
you've
room.
heard so many people say the second
I
is the
haven't
best, why
heard
would you
that.
not? Well, I've heard
I haven't heard
No,
that.
I've heard a
my
number of people
sister,
say that.
my
I've heard the
sister
same.
played it, and I actually saw the ending already because like I went over to her house and she was playing it and she couldn't figure out how to like, go up an elevator or something, and I was like, oh, try this, and she's like, oh, and then it was the end of the game. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Silent Hill
Like-
2 was the only one of the series I actually did try, and I got my ass kicked like over and over. I couldn't figure the game out, and it was, even though I was a Resident Evil fan, Silent Hill was just a different beast, and I would get killed by things without arms.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know why I'm dying. I'm done with this game.
Pyramid
So,
Head.
yeah,
So,
I never even got to him. That was
Pyramid
a-
Head is awesome.
that was a Silent
Rubber
Hill
Soul
pussy.
did ask me, aside from Pyramid, who's your favorite Silent Hill monster? If I can't pick Pyramid Head because obviously he's the
nurses.
best,
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna say
definitely the
nurses.
nurses. But there's also this real. It wasn't even a monster that hurt you. But in the first one, when you're in the school, is like this shadowy kid ghost
Yeah.
that would like fall, like pop up and follow you around and make all these like weird noises, and it used to scare the crap out of my sister.
I always just thought they were little babies.
Yeah, I thought they were like little kindergartners or something.
Damn babies!
They were super creepy.
There's Raph, a little too Raph.
They were super creepy, but I like the. They're so cute.
Oh,
Well, so the next one
man, I
on,
love that
uh,
we're all in the same nostalgic
We're
mindset.
on
That
point.
was really
Some of
awesome.
the best movies ever.
So,
Oh
so
my
Dirk,
God.
the next ones are actually not survival horror per se, but they're of the elevated first-person variety, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that leads into like the games that you're talking about now.
I'm
which
just
is,
gonna
like,
say this might end up
Resident
being an hour and a half to 2 hour long live stream podcast. to
Oh
get
my
through all of
Lanta.
this,
Oh
but
my.
I boosted up our time that we can put stuff up. So hey, guess what? You guys are gonna get more podcasts coming out of the horror show.
treat.
We now, instead of uploading only 250 megabytes a month, now we're doing 400 megabytes a month.
Yeah.
I brought
Megabyte that.
Yeah, megabyte pack.
Bro Force.
But the next one on the list, I think, is big.
Huge.
You have to-
It's
you
ginormous.
have to
Oh,
mention-
absolutely.
Both
You
of
already
them are.
talked about
I
it.
did.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
did.
It's the
And that
first.
was where you
It's
were
the
playing
very
it in
first of its
3D.
kind, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wolfenstein 3D.
The very first
That I
first
know about.
FPS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the very first first-person shooter, you
Yeah, I'm
guys.
here to kill some Nazis.
It was the shit.
Nazis.
And then the
I
next
didn't
year
get to
was
play
Doom.
PT, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and Doom, I still
Oh,
remember as I
that's
talked
true.
during our
We'll circle back.
previous panel at
Oh, I was just
Fangoria,
saying.
I was like, I had the shareware of Doom when it first came out. I was maybe 10, you know, the 90.
Well, we're gonna get to that,
93.
too.
No, well, yeah, you just mentioned it.
Oh, you did. You brought Doom too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, I
I
agree.
love the
Doom
hell
was
out
my
of it.
first experience. I missed Wolfenstein. I caught
Yeah.
Doom.
Dude.
And as
here,
as at the same time, 1993, that would put me at 12, 13, depending on if it was before or after September. And I was luckily I grew up fairly in an affluent family, and my private school had a computer lab, and so we actually had a computer lab all the way back to Apple IIe's, where we would play like
Oregon
Karatika
Trail.
and like Oregon Trail. Yeah.
You
Number
died
munchers?
from,
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, when we got to the higher end stuff, then they a couple of us cracked it and then threw on Doom to a couple of the computers because some of the teachers didn't know
You
any
guys played
better.
Doom in school?
Yeah, I was about
After
to say
school.
in
It
a
was
private,
after
in a
school.
private
After
Christian
school. It was
Nowadays,
after school.
I was
It was
like,
it was Episcopalian and it was after school.
No,
yeah,
it's-
I was allowed to play the Spot 7-Up game.
No,
but,
what we
like, that
played
was
during
about it,
school,
man.
what we played during school was Descent. That's where we
Oh,
would
which
have
was-
the networked computers and play the it was a ship game where you'd try and seek out the other
Oh,
ships.
I'm familiar.
and
Now,
fire
now,
them.
now I
was
have
lucky
to
I
ask.
got Counter-Strike, so.
Wasn't Marathon also one of the first-person shooters ever? I mean, it was from Bungie before they even did.
I don't remember Marathon.
Yeah, Marathon was a Mac-only game, first-person shooter, sci-fi, as I was mentioning. It was before they did Halo. So,
Now I gotta be honest.
It was
we
before they did Myth.
we
it was
talked
before-
about let's finish Wolfenstein in 3D and Doom because I'm really excited to talk about what comes right afterwards.
Yeah,
That's
So-
real look.
I want
Which
to
was
mention.
good.
Well, I want my brother to mention one game before we get to the game that
Okay.
we're going to mention. Home Alone. I
Oh,
think you need
shit.
to talk
What?
about it.
Oh,
Fucking scariest game on
Home
the NES.
Alone?
I had it on
Home
Super
Alone
Nintendo,
for the
right? Yeah,
Nintendo.
The game will mess you up.
I remember it.
What
I
happened?
owned it,
You
actually.
look like a trauma victim.
Yeah, I know, you really do. You seriously do.
He is such
Like-
a fan.
I was in the shit. I played Home Alone when I was a
Dude,
kid.
it was a
Wet
very,
bandits.
very difficult side scroller. Which I had as well, and yeah.
Go ahead, Nick. What
So
was your
Home
beef with
Alone,
it?
the premise of the game is basically you have to survive in your house and basement and treehouse for 20 minutes in real time. You can hide behind certain objects like the Christmas tree, some beds and shit, but they could run past you. It's just a 20-minute game of hide and seek. And then you find these little blocks that you can put down to like traps, and one will be like the tarantula, and it'll just show a little tarantula, and it stuns them. You can use them like 2 to 3 times, and then they disappear. You get like 30 of these. They go away so fast. So you're running away. They're chasing after you. They're twice as fast as you. Getting on the fucking stairs is a heart attack. You can moonwalk in the game, which is great.
Yes,
And
you can.
it was actually the
Yeah.
first game we ever did our like Let's Play show for.
Oh, okay.
And
No
I
kidding. Nice.
think I only beat the game one time ever before that. And spoilers, if you guys do watch it, I beat it like
Nice.
live the first try.
Really?
And I beat it while doing the fucking moonwalk.
That's great.
Oh my god,
That's
dude! I was
legendary.
just like,
Invigorating.
I need a hug. I need a beer. And some new shorts. That game's scary, dude. Yeah.
Well, what we can do is we can
You gotta play
feature
it.
each other's channel on YouTube, so that way people can get access to your stuff
Heck yeah, man.
pretty easily.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
It's
Can we talk
fun,
about the
yeah.
next game then?
Alright.
We
what
talked
is
about
it?
Doom, and obviously
well,
Doom
I
developed
I didn't know you were
into.
bringing that.
Well, here's the interesting thing about Doom before we move on. Doom is a survival horror game that has grown with the generations of games.
Oh, yeah.
So we got Doom and Doom 2, which were essentially the same thing.
I still prefer
And
3.
then we
Doom
got
64.
Doom 3. Yeah,
Doom
Doom
64.
64 as well, yeah. But then we got Doom 3, which was on PS2, was it?
Xbox.
It was on Xbox.
Xbox and PS2,
Xbox,
yeah, it would have been, yeah.
PC and stuff.
So yeah, that was a sort of return where it was a,
It
was
was
the
almost
origin
a remake
story
of the
again.
original game.
Which I loved because there was a lot. It was a genuine survival horror game, versus the first two games, which was more run and gun,
Which is
horror,
what they returned
which
to.
is what they
the
returned
latest
to with the
installment.
newest installment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
three. I
Doom
prefer
itself,
man.
quite honestly, Doom
It's a
itself
really dark
could
game.
Hella
justify
dark.
a
It actually
panel by
scared me.
itself.
The lighting,
Definitely.
But yeah,
really
the fact that it in itself evolved as a survival horror first person shooter, just within that subgenre of a subgenre is interesting.
The story's pretty much stayed the same. They haven't really done anything crazy with it. The demons are kind of staples at this point in time. You don't want to play a game where you don't face that big meatball in the sky.
The big meatball with the eye, yeah.
Yeah.
Imps,
So,
cyber demons.
Yeah.
The imps for sure, yeah.
I-
Cyber demons, absolutely.
I'm super-
Although I didn't like that they made the cyber demon like the one-off boss in the new one.
See, I didn't get that far. I only played it for about 3 hours.
Oh,
Just
it's
out of
so
the
good.
store.
Yeah.
Andrew
love
and
the
Andrew and I
melee
played
shit,
it side by
tearing
side.
faces
We
off
actually
and
did
stuff.
we did 2 dual let's plays
Okay.
where he and I play side by side on the 2 TVs next to each other, so you can see both our screens
Same
while we're both
levels,
playing at the same time, same
same
levels.
time.
Yeah, just how we approached it.
Heck yeah.
Well,
So
the
yeah.
less spoken about the movie with The Rock and Carl.
Yeah.
You know what? You know
don't need
what?
to talk
Say
about
what you
Skid
will. Say what you will about that,
I
but
did.
that was the first actual movie to attempt
Dude,
a first-person view.
Yeah, that's
Needs
true.
That now has gained popularity. I mean, look at Hardcore Henry, you know, and other first-person type, you know, one might say that found footage is first-person horror to
In
an
some
extent.
ways. Yeah. I
You
don't know. I
know,
just feel like the novelty wears off pretty quickly.
it can,
personally.
but
It
but
can't
but
sustain
credit
the whole
credit where credit's due. That
That
Doom
was
was
the
the
best
first one to
part.
try it.
the best 25 seconds of that movie.
I agree. I agree.
All right, what's the next one? that
The
you've
next
been
one
reading?
is
Yeah,
what I'm
you've
super
been
excited about,
heralding
which
it.
is Clock Tower, and
Okay.
this is awesome because it was the bad guy of Scissorman.
Yeah, he had the scissors.
Yes.
Man, I
He
remember.
would have big giant garden shears, and this was the first instance that I can remember in survival horror where you could hide.
I actually remember being mad that it was not on Saturn because I was a Saturn guy. I was
Yeah.
not a PlayStation guy. I hate Sony.
It was awesome because yeah, and I only got a
What's wrong with
PlayStation after Twisted Metal came out, which Twisted Metal Black I think could be considered a horror game as well.
In some ways.
Not survival. Well, maybe even survival horror. I'm gonna add that.
It was
'Cause
like
I don't
basically,
know.
it was
My
like
mom bought
basically
me that
beefed
game,
up
and I
Mario
just
Kart
didn't
though.
get it.
I
You
mean,
guys
Oh.
get some
Understand it.
hardcore gamers at the panel. They're gonna be
What?
like, "That's not survival horror."
Rubber
Trust
like
me.
rubber.
I get it,
Soul
but listen, are you in a car
What?
and what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Trying to survive?
Trying to survive. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
screw you. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
well, I mean, all
I
the
need that mushroom. I'm Mario. I can't be small this way.
yeah, to say that.
Well, oh, is you trying to say Mario Kart survival horror?
Abrasive blows.
It's not horror though. Twisted Metal literally.
It was like a
Sweet
more
Tooth
horror
Yeah,
was
it's
a
theme
serial
that
killer.
way,
Like
yeah.
I love the story. The whole idea was that Mephisto could grant one wish to the winner of the Twisted Metal tournament, and they all were dark as fuck wishes. Like that's what I loved about that game. So fuck you. I'm putting Twisted not Twisted Metal 1, not Twisted Metal 2, not Twisted Metal 3. Twisted Metal Black
But, yeah,
is
that-
the
I
horror.
never
version.
It was
understood
like
that
way,
game.
way later.
I
Never
just
had
thought, I was
that.
like, what
It was
is
PS2. It was
what is
PS2.
this robot
Yeah, it's
cars? I
PS2.
was like, this is stupid, Mom. I don't want this game.
Oh, you missed out.
Yeah,
You
so
Okay,
missed
I
out.
didn't get it.
So
Clock
getting
Tower,
back to
though,
Clock Tower.
It was more puzzle centric, right?
No.
Or
To
wasn't
me,
it like
it
you
was
didn't
a
have
it was
weapons,
it was
or-
a side scroller where you would investigate the clock tower, and you were trying to solve a mystery. But then Scissorman would come, and Scissorman had a musical cue. So if you entered a room and you heard the musical cue, you would have to hide, whether it be in a box or in like not a urinal. What's a stall in the bathroom? You could hide in, and basically. Scissorman would come and he would be this hunched over dude. I'll do this for the people. He would be like, sing, sing, because he was like sort of a hunched
You're
over
scaring the
guy
cat
as
over
well.
here.
But yeah. So he would walk after you like with the like slicing, and so that was his noise effect. It was a shing, shing, shing every step.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember the
But
ads
what-
for the
but
game
what
in
was
my
really
EGM.
cool-
That looked really
What was
rad.
awesome was you could get caught. So if he would chase you from room to room. It was segmented rooms.
Yeah.
So you'd run from this side to this side, and then you'd be in a new room, and then you'd run from this side to this, and you'd be in a new room. But what you could do is, like I said, you could go in a stall. It was the proto hiding in a locker from Outlast, or hiding under a bed, or things like that.
Right.
So you'd hide. If you got into a box, you'd crawl into a box. But if he got into the room before you actually hid, then he would come up and he would be like, shing, shing, and he would like stop in front of it, And if he didn't see you, he'd turn around and shing out the room. But if he did see you, if he did see you,
to the break of dawn.
it would like cut to inside the box, and you'd see the scissors stab through, and the screen would go red, and you'd be dead. So he could catch. It was like, don't hide if you're within his sight. It was the first instance of this that has evolved into so many horror games
And
now.
so this did come out before Resident Evil then?
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
95.
Yeah.
Clock
Yeah.
Tower.
I actually got to play it on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And it's,
That's how I played
there
it.
was a reproduction that
I
it had.
did
It had
play
like
that game.
blood
I'm mistaken.
squirted like all over the cartridge.
Yeah.
It was awesome, man.
I didn't
Played
even
a
know
little
that was
bit.
available.
It was
I
great.
don't think
Yeah.
it was a Super Nintendo like actual game. Maybe it was in Japan or Europe or something.
I don't know.
think it came
I
out
played it
I
on
could
one
be
of those
wrong.
early
Could be
consoles.
wrong.
So.
Yeah, well, it came out for PS1.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well
But
that's
it
how.
that was
was
what I
also-
remembered it for.
Oh yeah, the little square CD.
I do
But it was
need
also
to-
a PC game.
I want to try and verify something. Somebody said the Scissor
Rubber
Man, Rubber Soul said the Scissor Man originated from Mega Man. Mega Man?
Cuts
Well,
man.
there was a Scissor Man.
I'm
and
sure
Mega
there
Man
was,
2 or
but
3,
that's just
and
because
then,
they were
Cuts
going
Man.
through different objects. I mean, I'm
Cuts
sure there
Man
was
in the first Mega Man.
Cup Man and Mug
Mega Man 2
Man,
is still my absolute
Cup Man?
favorite.
Best
Bottle
Man.
Man,
Oh, yeah.
Book Man. Like
Two and
they
three.
just.
A lot of glasses.
There's literally
Yeah.
just dudes
And
sitting in a room
X1,
looking
2,
at
and
objects
3,
and making man
Exceptional.
out of it. Marcia, how are we on comments? Do we need to catch up on them or?
No, I think we're okay.
All right,
Just
so
talking
go
about-
ahead.
They're all
following
talking
along.
amongst
Well,
themselves.
what's
yeah.
next?
They're following along.
The
You
next
know
big
what's
one.
next. This is ginormous.
This
'cause-
is yes. This is the big
The
highlight.
dawning of.
Resident Evil.
yeah. I'm actually going to grab
PlayStation
another
1.
beer for this
But
because I
That
love
game
this
was
series.
like remade so many times and re-released. It was also like for say Saturn. You know.
Oh,
It
that's when I
came out
finally
for-
got it. Was on Saturn, man.
And the Saturn version was like the best version of it.
It was
too.
improved, although it still had that really shitty full motion video intro and at the
Oh,
very
that's
end.
awesome.
Oh,
But-
come on.
Wait, don't go.
It was cheese,
That's
dude.
so
And when they get
good.
attacked by the dogs and like the grass and stuff, and
They just shoot
It
the
was
gun
great.
and you see caps going off on the ground. It was like,
I'm sorry, Rubber Soul. I'm sorry.
I watched that like 25 times.
yeah, and that was about the time where George Romero was supposed to direct the Resident Evil movie, and then it ended up falling on Paul
We were
W.S.
so-
Anderson.
oh, God.
We got fucked, guys.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. It was something I should have asked him about when I interviewed him.
Resident Evil was huge for me. I played it on the PlayStation, the first one, and honestly, the thing that I remember most was not only the big bad at the end,
The
what was his name?
Tyrant.
Tyrant, right?
Yeah.
But the dogs
Dude, the dogs
Oh,
jumping
Fucking
through the
spiders,
jumping
man.
through the windows,
early in the
and
game.
Spiders.
The
jumping
dogs
through the windows in
jumping
the
scared the
hall,
crap
the
out of me.
hallway. Yeah, that
Oh.
got
And
the shit out.
That
of
was
me
in the
too.
first hour of the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jeez, did that F me up.
It's
I
insane. I had never played a game like that before,
Yeah,
so
I was like 12,
oh,
so-
I'm in. 'Cause,
Cinematics
yeah, I was too.
were
Yeah.
so good.
Or
I never
wasn't
played
12,
it, but I watched my friends play that game.
Do you remember the
was
first place we ever played that?
I'm interested in the
We
next
played
one.
it at Kmart.
Kmart, yeah.
Yeah, they had it on
Mesa.
display. They had Resident Evil Director's
You're
Cut.
like,
I
And
was
we
like,
just kept going there to get Little Caesar's pizza and play Resident Evil over and over and over.
I was still so mad though because of the fact that Saturn had that port, which came out like a year or so later, but then 2 and 3 did not come out on Saturn, so I didn't actually get another Resident Evil game until Dreamcast Code Veronica, and that
Great
game
game.
was just leaps and bounds above. I think that's the only Resident Evil game I've ever finished because that was so great.
Pop and lock for us.
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
They even have Nosferatu in that one too.
So, I'm interested in the next one because it is the only one listed as an arcade game.
Have you never played?
No, I haven't played
love-
it yet.
Oh,
It's
okay.
the only one
Fantastic.
listed as an arcade
Definitely
game.
not survival horror, but I guess you're trying to survive the horror of zombies attacking you. So
Well,
there you go.
who? I mean,
That
who got
would
further than the
lead
first
survival
level?
I know, I know.
I ran out of quarters after the first level.
I mean, I always think. I mean, if we're gonna go like general with survival horror, I think about item, just kind of maintenance and lengthy story and some sort of combat aspect, third person.
well,
But
the reason why I
No,
put it
they're
on
all
this
like
list
that.
though was that I was surprised that it came out the same year as Resident Evil. And what we're talking about is House of the Dead.
my dudes at
of the dead.
my dudes at Sega, I'm so sad you don't make consoles anymore.
So just real quick before we launch into the House of the Dead, someone asked, Edward D said, will you ever collab with Bloodbath and Beyond? And I have actually
know each
been
other,
in
kinda.
contact with Jay. Jay Bond runs Bloodbath and Beyond, and I've been in contact with him for a number of years actually. Since we don't chat that often, but he actually just gave us a heads up recently of some other people that were uploading our videos. So we do talk. I do keep abreast of their situation. They are in the 30,000 subscriber range. When we started, they were at about 8. So they crossed the 10 and then have been building since as we've been trying to build to the 10. So,
Those Canadians love their horror.
but
bro.
yeah, no, I love Jay and the guys over there at Bloodbath and Beyond. They've had a number of different dudes on. So I do, in fact, I have an idea.
They have a
that
far more clever name than us, but yeah.
Okay, all
I
right.
give
Wow.
Fucking Jesus.
them
Wow.
credit. No, it's honest.
Yeah, all right. So Fuego doesn't like our name. Fuck
No,
him.
no,
I
we
guess-
are.
whatever.
I guess
no,
we
no,
suck.
check it out.
Yeah,
We
whatever.
are the horror show.
Yeah,
That's
but
the way
it's
they
not
don't
as
like
clever as Bloodbath and Beyond. You fucking.
Okay, but they took
Anyway,
existing
moving right
property,
along.
though. and-
Moving
You
right
already
along.
said it. You
It
did
wasn't
that.
that
Yeah,
great.
you got nice.
But it's
Backpedal,
pretty
backpedal,
good.
backpedal.
Oh man.
Oh.
So
Okay.
anyway,
Give me
no, I do have an idea. I want to reach out, and I would like to do some collaboration with them. I want to do some stuff with the Late Horror Show as well. Dino, I already plan to have a Skype interview with him, and I want to do. I
We've been
still
talking
want to
horror
do.
debate.
Yeah, I want to do a grand horror debate. We've done the Great Horror Debate on the channel.
Yeah.
Where we've debated ourselves, where we've also debated people coming to the live Great Horror Debate.
Yeah.
I want to do something where different horror channels debate the same topic.
That's
So
the shit that's killing on Collider right now. They have this Smote and Schmodown thing where they have people from Rotten Tomatoes, from Screen Junkies, all these other places, and they come over and do movie
why you compare everything we do with what?
Well,
I'm trying to
we're
be
in the same
unique.
vein, bro.
You're trying to
We're
be
doing the
unique.
same kind of thing.
We got
I
a
mean,
finger.
Yeah, but I
on the
didn't know
pulse,
that,
okay?
like,
I'm just saying.
Stop comparing us to everyone else.
No,
Jesus.
I'm saying that it's a good idea to cross the street.
All right.
So that's another.
All right. So
I'm fired, guys.
good Lord, man, give us some credit, Jesus. What's next, Dirk?
Oh shit. I
Well,
made
we
that
were
shit shot.
diving into House of the Dead. Yeah,
Yes.
because I put this on the list because this was one of those games that I would go to the arcade just to play it. You know?
Dude, this
I
in
would-
Area
I would-
51.
Area 51, Terminator 2.
This was the coolest because it had the
Yeah.
gun.
You could crash.
that would-
Yeah, that was really sweet. Just-
It had the slider that would go every time you shot the
And it
gun.
was a scary game, you know?
Yeah.
Like everything was like popping out at you.
Really fast.
It was really fast. That was-
Dialogue was pretty scary too.
I never got to play it at home, so it was always pay and play. So
Yeah,
Dreamcast
scores,
games
were really good.
Oh yeah,
What was
House of the Dead 2 was on point, man. And
For-
then
for
Overkill
Dreamcast.
for Wii, where they basically cranked up the cheese factor and made it into a grindhouse
Yeah.
type thing.
Yep. there
And
it
he
is.
did that too
Cranked
with
up the
Resident
cheese.
Evil with the umbrella.
I like it when the cheese is cranked.
I love cheese.
You like the cheese man?
Yes, so.
The next game that I put, which came out in '97, is
One of my
Nightmare
favorites, Dirk.
Creatures.
I fucking love this game. I played it on N64, which was
Hey.
a upgraded graphics a little bit, and I think they altered a few elements here and there, but it was such a difficult game.
Controls
Holy
are so
shit,
hard.
was it irritating.
Alright, break it down.
There's a mad scientist in the late 1800s who's doing experiments, and then I'm trying to remember and if he opened up a gate to hell or what the flip happened, but yeah.
It kind of plays like a Devil May Cry.
Okay.
In some ways, yeah.
Difficult controls.
It's
and
very
evading,
combat centric.
yeah.
It's not like puzzles or anything. It's all about fighting.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, a really good game.
This next one is pretty big. Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
You know that.
That was also a
was
Sony
like one of the-
exclusive that I was mad about.
Well, maybe you
Being a
should just
sad
buy
lover.
PlayStation and get over yourself.
Yeah.
No, I hate Sony. Fuck you, Sony. Sony? Yeah?
Well,
Sony?
What is the reason why you hate Sony? So
I hate Sony because of the fact that Sony put my favorite video game console developer out of the wars. They basically systematically got rid of Sega because when we went to 3 consoles with the Xbox and with both they they took over
You
that
can't be mad
niche
at
of
PlayStation for
I
being
can, though.
better.
well, and also the fact that
Just good
that
marketing.
Walkmans were shitty, and all of the early '90s stuff that they did just was not.
I was,
Not the
to be honest,
best,
I
but-
was not a really big Sega fan. The only Sega game
I
I ever
was Sega
played
all
was
day.
like Sonic the Hedgehog, and everything else I was like, this is kind of lame. I was
Oh.
very
We had
pro-
actual blood in Mortal Kombat.
I
in the
went
Genesis
from
era.
liking Nintendo to PlayStation, and like it wasn't until like my college years that I even got into Xbox because I didn't like the old controllers. I thought it was awful. It was too big for my delicate hands.
Everybody loves Nintendo with
My
good reason,
delicate
and Nintendo
hands.
is the one that I will
And-
always
and then
love, and yet they were, until the Switch came out, kind of on the...
When the Xbox
on the
just
cusp.
got better games and quality, I just fell in love with it a lot more than PlayStation. Because even now, like I feel like the PlayStation games run, except for similar some games, not so much, but they're so short. Like you could play them in like 12 hours and then you're done. Like where the more of the Xbox games, like you play for like months. So
Now we're talking
Anyway.
Parasite Eve. Did we?
Yeah.
Did you guys already get? No,
We were.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
get to chime in on it because I was trying to. Just real quick, I wanted to say about Nightmare Creatures. I really loved that game.
Amen, dude.
I thought
Great
it was
game.
awesome that there was such a variety of creatures, and it was sort of like a beat 'em up, but there was a little more to it than that.
Yeah, there was a combo system that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and I could play it on N64. It's funny. Nightmare Creatures was like sort of the poor man, survival horror game, sort of like Winback on the N64. It was the poor man
Yeah.
shooter game
Yeah.
on the N64. But they were
Winback.
both enjoyable. Like I liked them both a lot. But specifically Nightmare Creatures I really enjoyed. So I had to chime in on that. I didn't actually play Parasite Eve, so I can't chime in.
I haven't played that. Or the second one.
It was more puzzle centric though. Is that the one that I'm thinking
How
of
did
compared
they call
to?
it like an RPG?
Yeah.
Resident Evil Silent
Mhm.
Hill is kind of what it's called.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you
kind
say
of-
Silent Hill?
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Speaking of
I
which,
we already
Marshall
talked about
Parker.
Silent Hill. I love that game.
Yeah.
Marsha Parker can talk about the next two games.
1999.
Yeah,
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Yeah, we may cut it after the next two
No,
games.
it's okay.
At the end of
It's-
the first page here.
We don't need to we don't have to revisit Silent Hill, but Fatal Frame. Did you anybody else play that?
I
know
never
we
played
talked
Yeah.
about it.
Fatal
Yeah.
Frame, yeah.
Is the
Did
second
you-
one the one? Did you ever play the other? Is it
There's-
2 and 3?
I only played the first and second one.
I thought there was one called like something Butterfly Effect or something.
That wasn't the second one.
Maybe if that I played that one shortly.
Yeah.
And it's fun. That's a creepy game.
It's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
A lot of people point to Fatal Frame as a really, really messed up game.
I wish
because
I knew
it's
more about it.
scary. Because all you have is this camera, defending yourself, and and you see the ghost, and you take a picture of the ghost, and the camera captures the ghost. Otherwise, it kills
It's
you.
kind of like Alan Wake. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the flashlight.
All right, so
Mhm.
do we want to call it after those two, or just speed through the rest?
Well, I mean,
Well,
think
we
I'd
can
like
do
if
some
there's
call
any good
out.
ones.
there's some retread. I mean, Resident Evil. In fact,
There's a lot to talk about still.
Well,
Last of Us.
Yeah.
Left
4 Dead.
4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead is one of my
I
favorite
would talk about
multiplayer
Fear.
games.
I would talk about Dead Space. I'd
Until
talk about
Dawn.
Amnesia.
Dead
Like
Rising.
there's a lot to talk about still. So,
Alien Isolation.
are,
too.
would
That's
would
another
y'all
one.
be willing to come back to do like a part 2 on the
Until
video
Dawn.
game podcast? Because I think we might need to do. Because we're at an hour and a half already.
There's the big
Yeah.
one right there.
Seriously? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
And we've
Um,
actually had very little interaction. We've been. Just
I know.
talking.
Well, hey, we can't do Q&As every single time. So
That's
everyone's interacting as best they can.
That's the best thing, though. If they're all chatting with one another about horror games and whatnot. We love you guys. Thanks for
Cecil,
tuning in.
stay up with me all night feeding me cheese and crackers.
Glad you saw that one.
Oh,
What?
I wrote
Who
that.
said that?
I did. No,
Oh,
just kidding.
Andrew, are you Will Rube?
I'm right here.
Oh,
He's
man.
putting words in my mouth. I'm just kidding.
Hell.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
All right. Well, okay, guys. I think we gotta call that. Like, honestly, we have a whole first list was long, and the second page is almost as
Similarly
long,
long, yeah.
except
Although we did get sidetracked.
there's a
here.
lot. I
With
mean,
good reason.
there's and here we're gonna get into actually some of the YouTube Let's Play stuff with the Amnesia, and I want to talk about all
This is
that
all I wrote
aspect of
down
it too.
for-
So. We're gonna do a part
Nice.
2 because frankly we haven't really talked about how we're gonna do the panel discussion
Yeah.
either.
Well, yeah.
So,
The only
and
thing
also-
I wrote down was survival VR.
yeah.
That's
So we
all.
have one of our topics.
Well, and we're actually kind of jumping into the next, millennia, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's
That
true.
is true.
Frame and Silent Hill were right at the cusp, and all of this stuff is in the 2000s.
So there, you, and this is,
Games get
and
way
here's
more
the
theatrical.
awesome thing. This is literally just the survival horror video games. Like, this is how big this actual topic is of horror video games. Because we did a horror video game panel at FearCon, and we're like, God, we could do deep dives. We could do survival horror. We could do, you know, just shooter horror, first-person shooter horror, because that's where you
Hoarder?
get.
I was reaching
Hoarder, you know,
really
like-
deep with the
Very
first-person
loud.
shooters, dude. I was talking Shadow Warrior, I was
There
talking
you go.
Blood, I was talking all of the Rise of the Triad. shit
Dude,
like
I
that.
think, honestly, I think, God, what's the one with, there was a bunch of games. There was horror. Might not have been considered survival horror though. Something. Mark of Cain.
That's all.
It was Rise of Cain or Raising Cain or it was a
Rage in the Cage.
dark shadow dude with like a thing covering his face. You guys all know what I'm talking about.
Shadow
Mark of
Yeah, you
Cain.
will.
Shadow Legacy, Mark of Cain.
Shadow.
Oh,
Legacy of Cain.
Legacy of Cain. Thank you. Okay,
And then there was
Jesus.
a Blood Omen also.
That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mind was like, where are
Yeah,
the
because originally
words?
Soul
started
Reaver.
out-
Soul Reaver.
Soul Reaver,
yeah.
that's what
that
it
was
was.
the 3D one because the original Legacy of Cain was the up above view, right?
But yeah, you have your
was
Soul
almost like
Reavers,
a
you have
Zelda
Darksiders and
I
Darksiders
was
too. Like,
thinking
there's other
about
games that are
horror
horror that aren't
I just
necessarily
thought really
survival.
terrifying.
I always thought the
So
guy's
there's all these
sword in
rats
Soul Reaver
everywhere,
too
like-
looks like the sword in Halo.
Getting
Oh
very
yeah, yeah,
loud.
that's true. The
Yeah.
double bladed thing, yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
Right.
So there you go, guys. I think we're gonna call our survival horror in video games part 1 episode right
Yeah,
here.
It
So.
turned into a part 1.
Do you think we can gather everyone again on a Sunday in the next week or two, and
Yes.
we'll do this again for part 2, and then
I'll
we'll
be here
actually
next week.
plan the podcast. So, all right, guys. So stay tuned. We'll be back for part 2, possibly next week, maybe the week after. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Sorry there wasn't quite as much comment interaction, but rest assured we will be looking at the comments after we finish recording, and we appreciate all of your interaction, all of your
So
support.
much.
We've had a lot of people saying recently, I can't believe you guys you don't have more subscribers. We agree, and
Yeah. So
if you
share
guys
the-
want to share it out,
share.
we greatly appreciate it.
Share.
You know,
Yeah.
we're closing in on 10,000. We crossed
shit.
9260 today.
Yeah.
So we're almost to 10, and then hopefully it'll just keep going from there. You guys know we do at least 2 episodes every single day. Thank you guys very much for the support, and share us out so we can grow that audience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something Zethrio was saying. She was like, I'm on all of my horror, like, different message boards and stuff like that, spreading the word. So we appreciate you guys.
Very much
Yes.
so. Very
Hey,
much
somebody
so.
also asked about the Patreon thing. We always keep saying we're gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just need to research it, guys. Things are really crazy. I don't know if it'll be done before May, because here's the thing. This
May
past
is our biggest month.
weekend, we just found out that actually I want to mention this. We just found out on Friday that there is a BMW Walking Dead contest for short films that is due this Friday. I found out about it 2 days ago, and within 48 hours I managed to pull together a 60-second short film that we shot this morning. I got up at 4 a.m. this morning. Andrew was out there helping us film at 5:30, and we filmed until about 10 o'clock. It's me as Negan fighting off a zombie and doing some fun stuff with a item from BMW. Stay tuned for that, because it'll be done by Friday. We have no choice but to have it done by Friday.
Yeah.
So
That's going through.
that's gonna happen. But yeah, we've been doing a lot recently, so forgive us if we have laxed on our vlogs or our get to know the horror shows. And quite frankly, we still have a bunch of trailer reactions, and we had 21 new reactions to record today after just recording 18 on last Sunday. So we're going to have a bunch of trailer reactions coming. I just want to give you guys a bit of an update. And also, I want to say hello to everyone that watches this later that says, I'm bummed I didn't get to see it live. We are bummed you didn't get to see it live as well, but we are here, and we will be here every Sunday for you. So hopefully we can figure it out. If not, we will. I've actually been toying with the idea, because Dirk here loaned me some really cool horror comics. I've been toying with the idea of doing some rapid comic reviews that we can then expound on in our reviews later on. So I might start doing some more live streams outside of just these every Sunday. But what do we got, Andrew? What's funny?
Chase
What's
Smith-
funny?
Jason
What's up,
says,
what?
you don't have to accept our money, Cecil. You can continue driving your Uber.
Trust me, I don't want to, and it's not Uber
Yeah.
anymore. It's Mayo now. Thank you.
We read the
There you go.
comments.
You
You
have
can't
all-
hide in the comments.
You have all the secrets now.
No, I know. I need to get it set up, you guys. As far as what the Late Horror Show suggested, as far as the super comment thing, we can't do that until we can monetize our channel, and we're still waiting on YouTube's approval to monetize the channel because of all the copyright issues that we had 3 months ago. So
Yeah.
we're working on that. We're working on being able to set up no donations. And the Patreon, as far as that goes, we just need to sit down and figure out what we can offer you guys, because we certainly can offer early episodes because I have them done way early.
Yeah.
But is that enough? Is early trailer reactions enough for you guys to donate, or are you willing to just donate for what we're providing 2 episodes a day now as is? Because that's a shit ton of work. So
Yeah.
let us know in the comments below. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for
We
watching.
love ya.
We will be back, and stay tuned because I think Fuego has an episode of Stephen King coming up later tonight.
About Richard Bachman, yo.
All right. So stay tuned. You do still have more horror show coming late tonight, and then we'll be back to our schedule. We have another review out of the Phoenix Film Festival coming tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
Dirk Heron.
Nick Aaron.
Gracias. I mean, fuego here.
I'm Andrew Mercer.
Marshburger.
Big thanks to Nick on his first time out with the horror show. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Hell yeah, dude.
Glad to have
Oh.
you. Expect you back more regularly now. So, thanks again, and until next time, remember,
Stay scared. Sorry about
Are we shutting it off?
jump on, Marcia.
Sorry about Game of Death, guys.
Get it, Marcia!
Get it.
MPH!
I still want to know
Get yes!
what James is vaping.